Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all keeping well. Today I want to talk about defence and security. It's another topic that's been on my mind for a while and I wanted to share it with you, and I wanted to know your opinion of what you would do and what scenarios you would run if this factor was to come upon us, if we were compromised with all our gear, with all our preps. I really want to know how you're going to handle it. So the scenario is, you've got all your preps, you've got all your gear, you've got all your electronics, you're in your dwelling, and like at the moment in England we have some machete gangs going around door to door, getting their resources, other people's resources, because this is how some people think. Why should I prepare? I am prepared because I'll just go and rob off others. Now, how would you deal with that situation? Are you armed to the teeth where you can go out there and, if there is intruders, use your firearms if you're in America as such? Or would you try and compromise with these individuals? Would you try and barter? Or would you just go all guns blazing and, you know, they take the consequences? But then on the same token, you're always on alert 24/7. Your family members or your community has to be armed and they have to be adequate with a weapon. Do you take that approach? See, I'm kind of split decision depending on the situation. If I had someone come to my door, a man and his son or his daughter, and they were asking for some resources off me, then I'd be obliged to maybe trade or assess the situation to see if he's sussing the place out. It's a really hard topic, this one. Or do you just answer the door and just go all guns blazing? Or do you not let anyone at all on your premises? Are you that security tight that no one can come in? But then on the same token, one day you might need something and you're going to be entering other people's properties. So it's a real tough topic, and how we would handle it. We can play it in our minds and think, yeah, we'll do this or we'll do that, but when the actual situation comes, how are you going to handle it? And if you was to take other people's lives, how are you going to handle it, and how are your family going to handle it? Especially when, you know, there's a group of people coming, different ages, and you're willing to use firearms to defend your property. How, psychologically, how are you going to handle that? We could all run it through in our mind, but actually, would you do that? Because I think it would be quite a tough situation. But it depends on the severity of the situation. But it's a tough topic. And then, what do you use as security? Do you use guns? Do you become like the grey man and make your property look like it's been ransacked before, so it doesn't draw any interest? You know, or if it's grid down and your lights are on, are you going to sit in darkness, or are you going to have all your lights on, which will draw attention to yourself, but knowing that you're armed to the teeth, it doesn't bother you? Are you going to be in a large community where you all stick together, but then if that community breaks down and certain individuals become greedy, what happens there? So I've been kind of chewing this over, how I would approach it. I kind of like the grey man. I haven't got much, but on the same token, it's hard to be like that when you have got a lot of preps. So I just want to know what you're doing and how your thought process is on this subject about defence and arms. I know a lot of people in America stockpile guns and rounds of ammo, which in some scenarios is a great thing, but then in others it's all the repercussions, and depends on your premises and how you're attacked. You can only defend your premises from so many people, and at the end of the day, if your family members or your community aren't trained in using firearms, you're going to be overwhelmed, and you know, if you use the sword, you're going to die by the sword. So it's a real tough topic. I would like to think that I could share my resources with people, you know, maybe do a bit of bartering. That's kind of the road I would like to go down, rather than going all out gun-ho. And then do you defend your property? Do you put barbed wire around it? Do you put bars at the windows? Do you reinforce all the doors and all the locks and the hinges? You know, how far do you go with this? And if you live in a residential area and you start putting shutters and bars and barbed wire and this and that, people think he's got something in there, something precious. So your house could be the first to be ransacked or attacked. So it's a tough one. But I know most of us on this channel are prepared. Most of us have got quite a bit of gear. And if you've got food, you know, 3 months of food, that is like gold dust. You know, are you going to defend that with your life? Or are you going to bug out and go to your next location? And then if you're compromised there, then what do you do? So it's a tough situation. I've heard other people's theories or how they run the scenarios through. You know, they would not allow anyone on their premises, and they would defend it, you know, hammer and nail to the end. But then at the same token, you're on guard 24/7. Your whole family's on guard 24/7, and you have to run these scenarios through with your family. And if your family members or your community aren't working together as well as you're operating, you get a weak link in the chain, then everything's compromised. So give it some thought, but it's a very interesting topic, and it'd be interesting to hear your take on it. You know, I'm an average guy with an average family, and if push comes to shove, you know, it's hard taking people's lives or hurting other individuals when you're desperate. Because I always think to myself, if I was desperate, what would I do? If I never prepared or I needed something, what would I do? I would try and go round someone's house. But then if I went round their house or their farm or their premises and I was met with hostility straight from the off, you know, it's going to be hard. You know, and I might want to barter, I might want to go around there. So you could be cutting your own throat by becoming too defensive or offensive sometimes. But it's having that wisdom to read the situation. But I would hate to be in a situation like in the UK at the moment with machete gangs, you know, coming round your premises and threatening you or slashing you for your resources or your car or whatever. You know, what would you let go? Would you let your car go? Would you let a certain part of your food go and keep some back? Do you put some food by in case you are ransacked, and you can just give that away and save your life and stop all that confrontation? I know some people put signs up like toxic or virus or keep out, or dangerous dogs. That's another avenue you could go down to defend your premises. Or mines, or shooting range. It's a tough one. It's a tough kind of decision to make, how you approach it. And in the area that you're in, it could be a lovely community at the moment, but when push comes to shove, you know, is that lovely community going to turn in on itself? And are you willing to defend your property and your belongings with people, harm people that you've known for years and years, if you living in a community type village or town? You know, that's when it becomes really hard. So what defences have you actually got and are willing to use? Guns, knives, crossbows, compound bows, pepper spray, spears, machetes, axes. So, you know, what is going to be your defence strategy, your security strategy? Have you got cameras set up? Have you got sensors set up? So it triggers you into alarm mode, or you're going to be like I Am Legend and have the whole place booby trapped with a click of a button. But then if you watch that, if there's enough people, a mass amount of people, you're never going to defend your premises, and it becomes more of a target. But I'm really interested to hear what you've got to say on this one. I think this is a really interesting topic, defence and security. You know, we've done a few videos now on this prepping subject, and it's quite easy to talk about, you know, your fundamentals, what you need and what you've got. But when you talk about keeping it safe and holding on to it for as long as possible, you know, if society breaks down and human beings are human beings, what's going to happen? You know, you can visualize it in your mind, and then what steps are you going to take to keep you, your family and your preps completely safe? Is part of your security plan to join a community, like a prepper community, and all work together? Is that part of your plan? Is part of your plan to become the grey man or the lone wolf that's on his own with hardly any resources and nitpicking bits and pieces where he goes? Is that kind of the way you want to operate? Or you are of the mindset of stock up as much as you can and stock up as much as you can in defence? Are you that kind of mindset? Or are you more stock up as much as you can and allow some for bartering with the best you can? You know, maybe your mouth and your resources are your best weapon. Is that kind of the way you're thinking? Or are you thinking of bugging out if it gets too tough? If you see houses being ransacked and that, are you going to get in your vehicle and just get the hell out of Dodge and go and to your bug out location or a secret location somewhere? Is that your plan? Or have you got a basement and seal yourself in? Is that your plan? So it's tough. And if people want to get in to your premises and your stocks, they'll get in. Humans, they'll get in no matter what security you got. If there's a large group of people, all desperate, in a gang, they're gonna get in. And the thought of compromising with them individuals during them kind of times, I don't think so. So I'm kind of lost in this subject. In my mind I can visualise what I want to do, but then on the same token, in reality, would I act like that? Because we've never been, most of us, I'm an average guy, most of us have never been put in a situation like that. And I'm not one to be a big talker and say, yeah, I'll do this, and yeah, I'll do that, and I'll use this and I'll use that. But I don't know. It's very very interesting subject. I think it's defence and security is probably the hardest subject for me. For some of you guys, you probably made your mind up and you've decided, what area you're gonna take this and how you're gonna deal with it. That's why, on another token, it's nice being reasonably remote, so you've got less traffic around you. But then in a town environment, if you have built up a kind of community, then you're quite safe within that community until that breaks down. But if you are the kind of lone wolf, remote person, if you are in trouble, then it's all down to you. You've got that weight on your shoulders, and the families be carrying that weight as well. I do like the grey man, kind of look like you've got nothing, not a threat kind of person. Would that be the person that does survive if it does get that bad and that intense? Or is the guy with loads of preps, loads of firearms, a great security system, middle of nowhere, is he going to be the guy that fares well? Or is the guy that is diplomatic, put enough by to trade and barter with some of these individuals that will be coming around your house? Is he going to fare well? I'll be really interested in reading your comments. Don't forget, if some of you write, I've got this gun, I've got that gun, and I'm going to do this and do that. But don't forget, there's a lot of parameters to think about before, you go all guns blazing. And there's 1,000 different scenarios that could happen in your area or your doorstep before you go all guns blazing. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you liked the chat, and it's definitely something to ponder on, definitely something to think about. And I'll see you in the next one. Enjoy the grey outdoors, guys. And another scenario: what happens if the military or governments decide they need your resources to supply the war effort? How are you going to respond to that? Door-to-door knock-ins. We need your supplies. We need your arms. We need your premises. How are you going to react to that one? 5-6 years of stocks built up, resources, medication, gone. Or would you defend yourself? Or be the grey man? I've got nothing. There's nothing here for you.